Hello everyone, the Snowman here, and I've got another NBA season preview today. I'll be looking at the Los Angeles Clippers. If you can catch my Lakers preview, please take a look at that if you've got the time. I'll also be doing a few more teams as well. Leave a comment if you'd like to see me preview any other teams. I'm thinking about the Rockets, Bucks, 76ers for sure. But today it's all about the Los Angeles Clippers. I'll go over their depth chart, some star players, coaching, and then look at some expectations and make a few predictions. So pulling up the Clippers depth chart, it is a very deep roster. At point guard, you've got two very different players. The starter, likely Pat Beverly, and then the sixth man of the year from 2019 will be Lou Williams. You also have Derek Walton Jr. there. At shooting guard, Landry Shamet, Jerome Robinson, Rodney McGruder. Then at forward positions, you've got the two superstars that came this summer, Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. Good depth there at the forward spot with Mo Harkless and JaMychal Green backing them up as well. A big body then, the starting center Ivica Zubac, and then two vets, Montrezl Harrell and Patrick Patterson, also at the center role. So all in all, a very deep roster that the Clippers have heading into this season. And even with all that depth and balance, their fortune's still probably going to rely heavily on Kawhi Leonard, who was undoubtedly the player of the 2019 NBA season. Last year, he did sit out 22 games in the regular season due to load management, but still was able to pour in a career-high 26.6 points per game, and then more impressively seemed to single-handedly put the Raptors on his back during May and June throughout the playoffs. Sure, he did have some help from Fred VanVleet at times, but for the most part, he did a lot of it by himself. Who will forget the 4-bounce game winner in Game 7 to down the Philadelphia 76ers? Then the fact Toronto was dead in the rights against Milwaukee in the conference finals, down 2-0, very close to being down 3-0 in that series. And Kawhi takes the responsibility of shutting down the MVP, Giannis Antetokounmpo, turning that series around. Then in the finals against Golden State, Kawhi just practically does everything, almost 30 points a game, his second finals MVP and a second career title for the Claw. He's just 28, quite literally entering the prime of his career now, and it's scary to think what Leonard will do in Los Angeles this year. And we've seen this summer, kind of the theme of the NBA has been superstars coming in pairs, whether it's Davis and LeBron in LA, KD and Kyrie in Brooklyn, Russell Westbrook and James Harden in Houston. We know that the Clippers have themselves a superstar tandem as well, and that is Paul George, the other half of that, in Clipperland, and PG-13, a bona fide superstar as well, was third in MVP voting last season, also third in Defensive Player of the Year voting, so a super high motor on both ends. He took it to another level last year. How will these two work together is the question with George and Leonard. Should be an intimidating partnership, though, in my estimation. I think it'll be more like LeBron and AD, not so much like the struggles that we might see from Russ and Harden and then KD and Kyrie down the line, because with Kawhi and Paul George, they're two players who are so versatile, very few holes in their games. Both players can, fill up the bucket from anywhere on the court. The passing off the charts, rebounding, defending, obviously, spacing, just moving without the ball. PG really upped his level last year playing alongside Westbrook in OKC. And both of these guys from California, happy to be back in LA. PG a little banged up with the shoulder injury, will likely miss a few games to start the season, but it's going to be so hard to score on these guys. I put them just behind Bron and Brow in terms of the best superstar duos in the league. And speaking of being hard to score on, it doesn't just stop with Kawhi and PG. Their starting point guard, Patrick Beverly, the junkyard dog, one of the grittiest defenders in the league. He'll be giving opposing point guards fits as usual this season. Finally got his big contract that he's been working so hard his whole career for this offseason. He got paid a 3-year, $40 million deal. So I think the Clippers, they have the length and the defensive know-how at every position. It's going to be a treacherous task to score on them for sure. And then off the bench, you've got two very special players as well. Lou Williams, who is aging like fine wine, the walking bucket, the reigning sixth man of the year in the 2018-19 season. The third time he won that award. I believe that's tied for the most ever sixth man of the year. So You can run the offense through Lou Will while PG and Kawhi are on the bench. That's why it's going to be so important for Rivers to utilize him properly. And Lou has a friend that comes off that bench as well, Montrezl Harrell, who himself had an amazing season last year, third in the voting for the Sixth Man of the Year. So he was right there in terms of the best bench guys. And Montrezl Harrell, I saw this stat today that I was pretty shocked with. Last year, he became one of only 5 players in NBA history to have a season with over 16 points per game and shooting 61% field goal percentage or better. The other 4 players who have done that, Clint Capella, Dwight Howard, Artis Gilmore, and Wilt Chamberlain. So again, 16 points, 61% or more. That's pretty high volume scoring and insanely efficient as well. With Harrell, he's a supreme finisher around the rim, 2.5 blocks per 36 minutes a game, so a great rim protector as well. And just the ultimate energy guy you're getting from Montrez. I wouldn't rule out a Pascal Siakam-esque jump this season for Harrell. Of all the Clips role players, I think Harrell has the highest potential ceiling, and he could be their X factor. Montrezl Harrell, a player who can take this Clippers team from great to just nearly unstoppable. So the head coach of the Clips, Doc Rivers, has to be absolutely salivating with this roster. He's been the head man in LA since 2013, and he's been a part of some devastating playoff runs, losses to the OKC Thunder in 2014, also collapsed against Houston in 2015 where they were up 3-1 in that series. Went through a mini rebuild the last few years after the Blake Griffin and Chris Paul trades, but his patience has been rewarded. It's nice to see that the front office and Doc Rivers, they stuck together, and now he's kind of being rewarded in the end. So he's got to be so excited with this squad. Still one of the best coaches in the league, in my opinion. And he brought along his boy Ty Lue with him this summer. Ty Lue now the assistant coach on this squad. So Ty, we know he turned down the offer to be the head coach for the Lakers. Now he gets reunited with Doc, and it's all made for Rivers and this coaching staff to have a lot of success this season. And the expectations have changed drastically from last year, where there were nearly no expectations for the Clippers. They ended up being a plucky 8 seed, took the mighty Golden State Warriors to a shocking 6-game series in the first round. And it's no longer just a bunch of ragtag role players. They have added 2 superstars, and they are the title favorites on paper. 7-2 odds, actually, I believe, is the exact number. So I love how this team has been built the right way. Lawrence Frank and Jerry West doing a phenomenal job, whether it's acquiring Landry Shamet, a total throw-in with the Tobias Harris deal to Philly last year. You know, Shamet, a young wing who is a sniper from deep. Or then Ivica Zubac, who was a giveaway from the Lakers. He's a big, though, who can rim protect, finish in the paint. So unlike the LA Lakers, they have the depth. I expect them to get a 1 or a 2 seed in the West. And, that's despite the load management that we'll see with those 2 superstar players and PG's injury concerns. 53.5 wins is their over-under win total right now. And I'm leaning towards the over with that. I think, because of the overall roster, the coaching, and the continuity with the role players, they're going to have a very exciting season, and it wouldn't shock me if they're the number 1 seed coming into the Western Conference playoffs. Then as for a prediction, playoffs going to be a bit tougher. I think it's all going to depend on matchups, really, with the Clippers, Lakers, Houston Rockets, Utah Jazz, throwing the Nuggets as well. They're all going to be battling, and if they draw Houston or the Lakers before the conference finals, it could be really tough for this team. Kawhi, we know he is a proven playoff commodity, but if I had to pick, I'd say they lose an intense battle of LA against the Lakers in the conference finals. I just think, like I said, Bron and AD is the only duo that is better than PG and Kawhi, in my opinion. They do have the concern with PG's shoulders. He had surgery on both the left and the right shoulder in the last 12 months. So, Clippers are going to have a huge say in the title race, seeking their first title in franchise history. They're going to be right there all season long. But if I had to pick right now, I would say they lose in the conference finals to the LA Lakers. All right, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the Snowman Sports Media. Leave a comment. Let me know how much success you think there will be in Clipperland this season. And thank you so much for watching. I'll be back soon, though, with more NBA preview content. Cheers.